Hi, Noah.
Hi.
Janet and Lisa, good morning. How are you two?
We're good, thank you. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I was looking forward to this morning because I am excited to learn more about what is going to happen in the new season of New Amsterdam. So, there's a tragedy that leaves the audience wondering, what's going to happen next. It's kind of like a cliffhanger. They're like, what? So, what can we expect to see in season 2? What can we watch out for and get answers to? Janet, I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Okay, I'm going to take the lead on this one. But Noah, I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry to everyone. We really can't say about anything, and we've managed to keep it quiet. Someone integral to the story does die, and you find out in tomorrow's season premiere who it is. But I can't say who it is. So yeah, I guess we've managed to keep it quiet for this long. One more day, and then everyone will find out tomorrow, and then, yeah, I think we'll all be relieved.
Well, what's something you both enjoy the absolute most about being able to play your character on screen? Lisa, we're going to start off with you.
I mean, I'm just really lucky. I get to work with Ryan, and he's brilliant to start with, but he's just such a generous guy and a generous actor, and we have such fun together. And we get to play the scenes, we get to see the side of Max that you don't see in the hospital, when he kicks his shoes off at the end of the day and comes home. And it's just fun to play that. And even though we've had a bit of a rocky relationship arc, in season 1, it's a 10-year marriage, and I'm actually in a 10-year marriage myself, so it's really nice to sort of represent that on screen and show that it's not all rosy, and there is some challenge to it, but that's what's beautiful about marriage, and so it's been really fun to do that.
You have your ups and your downs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about for you, Janet? Talk to us a little bit about your character, Dr. Lauren Bloom, and what do you enjoy the most about being able to play her?
One thing that really drew me to the project was getting to learn things that I would not otherwise get to learn. And as an actor, we're so privileged in that, you do a period drama, you might get to learn to horse ride or something. And I was like, okay, this is playing a doctor. I get to really work with real doctors and real nurses and learn procedures and medical terms that I would otherwise have been no wiser to. So I really enjoy that part of my job. And one thing about Lauren that I really like is she's sort of messy and a little cynical, and I quite enjoy that for the dynamic of the show, and it offsets sort of Max's positivity quite well. And I had such a great arc last season with, playing a doctor who had been abusing a substance was such a tricky thing to portray. But it's so prevalent in the medical industry is what I found out. And I was really pleased that it touched people in the way it did, and that people didn't have a backlash against Lauren. They really felt for her and they wanted her to get better. So that was really lovely.
I think there's something that we love and can relate with all the characters that we see in the show, and I think that's what makes this show so great is, audiences can relate to what they're seeing on screen, and, they, feel for what the characters are having to go through, that we see in the show.
I think that's so important. I mean, what's the point in storytelling if you're not relating to the people watching? And we're so lucky to have such a diverse cast of so many different types of people that I think that's why the show is really popular with so many people, because there's so many different types of people all being represented within one hospital.
My last question for you both is, what do you hope the fans will learn in this particular season of the show? Lisa, I'll let you take the lead on this one.
What do I hope they'll learn? Oh my goodness, that's a tricky question. And to answer when we can't give you really any information about season 2. I think they're going to learn a lot about the lead character, about Max, because it's going to sort of unveil a new side of him and sort of dealing with the loss of this particular character. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot to learn about it. It's so difficult.
I know.
I don't know. It's going to be wonderful. The writing's amazing. The characters are fabulous, and they're not going to disappoint. They're not going to disappoint.
I think that they'll really learn that something can happen. Your whole life can get turned upside down, and I think that really is prevalent in every single character that survives from the end of last season, how the impact of what happened, and how you learned to survive something like the grief, I guess.
Well, we have a little behind-the-scenes look here at the upcoming season of New Amsterdam with Ryan Eggold and the cast, so let's take a look.
Season 1 was a real, climax to the whole season, just because it changed the world for everybody, and Max at the center of this, chaotic event that is going to shake everybody up,
But that car wreck, it was just kind of ripped your heart out. And it's so interesting because when I'm watching, I read it first and I know what's going to happen. But then when I see it, I'm just like, so I can imagine what that was like for the fans who had no idea that was happening. But obviously you saw that a lot of our characters were sprawled out everywhere, some perhaps missing. And, I don't know, maybe someone doesn't survive.
Obviously, without giving too much away, we find Max in a very upsetting situation at the beginning of the season. And the show does a very good job of sort of doling out the information that I think everyone wants to know. But through all of it, Max, Ryan Eggold, in an amazing performance, is kind of still trying to hold things together, even though his entire world has been literally just ripped out of his hands and his heart. And but he's still there doing his Max Goodwin thing, and trying to help run the ED, and he wants to maintain control, but any semblance of control has been taken away from him. So that's where I think we find Max for the first time in his life. If he thought his cancer battle was a big pill to swallow, I think the next journey, the next leg of his journey is like.
The stories that we get to tell this year are great. They're all very relevant. They're very pertinent to what's happening in terms of healthcare, in terms of big pharma companies, in terms of just current events, things that are happening. It's very reflective of everything that's going on today, which I think is great. And yeah, it's awesome. We have, with season 1 under our belt, there's a history between these characters, and there's sort of connections and things that are established that give you a certain set of expectations going into season 2 that I think we sort of play with and against at different times, and now that you have that base, you get to sort of peel off another layer, and go a little deeper.
I can proudly say that we don't let our fans down going into season 2 because, a lot of times you have this massive cliffhanger at the end of a season on a show, and then you come back with the premiere of the next season, and it's kind of a letdown. This is definitely not a letdown. And what's crazy is that I knew what was going to happen, and then I read the script, and my heart was ripped out once again. It's a mess. You guys keep making me cry at every table read. It's a mess.
Well, I can't wait to watch. I know the fans are very excited to see what's going to actually happen, in this upcoming season of New Amsterdam. Be sure to catch it September the 24th, 10, 9 Central, only on NBC. Thank you, Janet and Lisa, for joining me this morning. It was a pleasure to get to speak with you both.
Thank you. Lovely to talk to you.